So stand with your feet a little further than hip width distance apart. Feet are facing out about 45 degrees, just something comfortable. Knees are soft. Start to swing your arms, turning from the hips, allowing your gaze to follow the swing. Turn. Just starting to energize, open up the body. So your arms will come around with the momentum, and just start to give yourself a little tap. Taps with your hands where they reach your back, your shoulder. You can hear the tap. And the knees are soft. Maybe the opposite ankle comes off the ground as you swing. You can feel in a lot of parts of your body where there might be tension. I can feel it in my shoulders, my hips, my back, knees, even down in your feet. So this is a great way just to warm yourself up, start opening up the body, start to really open up that connective tissue, getting into the joints. And do a few more here. And start to slowly wind down. And then give yourself a little shake. Give your legs a little shake. Next thing is interlace your hands behind your back. And your palms come together here. So you're really looking for straight arms, palms coming together. And if this is as far as you go, that's fine. You really feel the chest start to open when you do that. With that chest facing forward and head up, start to lift the fists. Keeping the arms straight, keeping the palms towards each other, and lift as high as you can. Maybe you are this high, maybe you're this high. You go a little higher. We'll do this a few times along the way, so it doesn't matter how far you go here, you're really starting to open up the shoulders. Squeezing your shoulder blades together in the back really opens up the chest. Starting to open up the upper body. Give a couple more seconds here. And then release. And every time you release this, you start to feel a little more give in your upper body. What we're really doing is opening everything from here up, the neck, the shoulders, the chest, the back. Bend your left arm, elbow face forward, and then with your right hand grab the back, your elbow, lift it above your head. Again, maybe you're here, maybe you can get it way back. And by bending your arm, which is your bicep is engaged, the back, your tricep is stretching. You're pulling it back, keeping your head up, pulling it back, feeling that tricep stretch, your shoulder, breathing. Consistent breathing is the key to this exercise. A couple more breaths here. And then release. Your arms a shake. And then bend your right arm, right elbow facing forward. Left arm grabs the back. And pulling that back. Up again. Maybe you're here, maybe you're here, maybe you're all the way back. The longer you do it, the further you'll get back. Start to breathe, feeling the back of your tricep, your arm, stretching, opening up. A couple more breaths here. And then release. Now we're going to take your left arm, wind it around. Now reach with your right arm all the way around and really find yourself so that you can grab that opposite elbow. The key here is grabbing that opposite elbow. Once you grab it, see if you can get this other arm to move your way up the back. If not, that's fine. If you're just here, and keep that elbow in your right hand. You really should feel the stretch in this part of your arm. So grabbing that elbow and then just stay here for a couple breaths. And then in time, that arm, the left arm, will start to creep its way up your back. But today, it might just be right along the back. And this is going to be tough. Our shoulders are very tight. And then release. Changing sides. Wrap your palm facing out. Wrap your right arm around. And then with that left arm, find your way. Wiggle your way so that you can get that right elbow. Key is grabbing that right elbow. You can't really hurt yourself. You're just fine. Grab it and then just hold on to it. And if that's as far as you go, that's fine. Again, if you would like to try, creep that right arm up your back. It'll get there eventually. But for now, just grab that elbow, allowing that shoulder and arm to open up. And release. Again, interlace your hands. Take the opposite grip. So if your grip that you go with is your forefinger on top, your right forefinger on top, or the opposite, then put your left forefinger on top. So take opposite grip, palms together, squeeze your shoulders together, and now lift your arms and they'll probably go a little bit higher. Really feeling this in the front and the top of your shoulders, maybe across your chest, maybe in the middle of your back. And then release. A strap would be good here, or you need a strap here. This is really what we've been working towards, and we've got these muscles here are called the pectoral minor, also known as the dominatrix, and they're the pec muscle that are under your major chest muscles. And what they do is the life that we live of being hunched over, working the phones, computer, bench pressing, they pull. They get stronger and tighter, and when they're pulling on our back. So it's really important to get these open, and it hurts. So it hurts, but opening them up will release the tension on your back. So grab a strap. Your hands are as distant, as far apart as are comfortable, so that you can lift your arms above your head and then all the way back over to your back. And then all the way up as the inhale, and then forward, exhale. We'll do a few more of these. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And now I move my hands a little bit closer together. Inhale, and then exhale. And then I stop. And this is what might hurt a little bit. You stop in that little sweet spot. Might be down a little bit, might be up a little bit. Find that sweet spot. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Arms stay straight and long. Pushing your arms out. You're really feeling this across the front of your chest. Those pec minors are opening up, even along your arms for sure. Take a few breaths here. Take as many as 10 breaths here as you get used to this. And then allow them to softly drop behind you. Inhale, bring it up again. Over, really pushing out with your arms, coming all the way over. And then release. Your arms a little shake. Allow your arms to rise, and then wrap your right arm under your left arm. Stay here. Maybe you can grab the other side of your head, eagle arms, and then lift up so that your elbows are in line with your shoulders. Your elbows are in line with your shoulders, and you're really pushing that direction with your hands. Take a few breaths here as you open up your back. And then release. Arms are up. And then left arm goes under right. Again, maybe you stay here. Maybe you grab behind your hands. Bring your elbows up to shoulder height. And your hands come out forward. Feeling that opening in your upper back along the side of your right shoulder. A couple breaths here. And then unwind and release. Now bring your arms up and bring them together. Really straight, so your elbows are in line again with your shoulders. Your palms are together, and push your forearms, your palms, and your elbows together. So it's really a resistance exercise. You should feel a little bit of a shake maybe. Make sure you might have to lift up your elbows so they're in line with your shoulders. Feeling a little more resistance, a little shaking. Take a few more breaths here. And then release. Again, interlace your hands behind your back for the third time. Straighten your arms. This should feel a lot different at this point. And then lift it up. Take about 5 breaths here. Breathing through the nose, in through the nose, out through the nose. Long, even inhales, long, even exhales. And this is taking a few minutes, so we'll finish with 2 more exercises that you can do any time of the day in front of the TV, on the beach, out on the lawn, in the house. Exercise where we started. And then the last exercise is great for runners, for walkers, really for everyone. I found this from a person who was a famous miler back in the late 1800s. I think W.G. George was his name. And he swore by this exercise to be why he was so successful as a runner. And I've been doing it for months now, and I find that it's so helpful. And really what you're doing is you are slowing down the running process, and you're accentuating everything. So you lift your right leg, knee as high as your hip, and your left arm out at 90 degrees, and then you softly land your leg and you switch sides. It's all about form and deliberation. And your foot lands softly on the ground. You don't want to hear it thump or feel it. You allow it to land softly. So you're really mimicking, accentuating the running style. And you do 50 of these. So, meaning that your right leg comes up 50 times, and your left leg comes up 50 times. And maybe after the first couple, or at first look, it looks easy. And I'm pretty sure by the time you get to 50, you'll say, wow, this is really helping balance. It's working on those core psoas muscles that help us to run and walk. And again, it's just opening up all corners of the body, those stabilizing parts of the body that we don't really use or focus on. Again, the key is a soft landing with the foot, knees coming up as high as the hips, opposite arm bent at 90 degrees. After the 50, just give your body a little sway, and then go about your day, probably feeling much more open, much more energized. And you can do this every day. can do it twice a day, maybe take a few days off and do it again, but a few months and you'll start to feel huge improvement. Upper body, we all have tight shoulders, tight upper backs, chest, and this will be very helpful.